Double standard. Family is uneasy when one sister dates other's ex-lover. Dear Abby, my sister Jane and I are both in our mid-50s. Jane has had numerous affairs over the past several years after her third divorce and was involved in an intimate relationship with a terrific man, Will, that lasted about 3 months. Jane broke up with Will several months after she decided he wasn't what she was looking for, and she's presently engaged to be married to a very nice man, Sam, and seems very happy. I dated Will several times before he and Jane became involved. We weren't intimate at that time, and we started seeing each other again over the last month. This time we have fallen in love. My problem is Jane is upset that Will and I are together and says I have betrayed her. She is worried about having her former and current lovers present at family gatherings, and our parents are also concerned. They say it's just weird. The fact that my sister was intimate with Will doesn't bother me or Will, but it sure bothers them. Abby, I have always been the good girl in the family and bowed to their pressure. But my relationship with Will is more than I could have ever imagined, and I don't want to give up my future happiness just to make my sister and my parents more comfortable. My adult children have all met and approve of Will and our relationship, but Jane and my parents won't budge. Any suggestions? Signed, Once Will in Walla Walla, Washington. Dear Once Will, perhaps it's time to stop being the good girl, begin acting like a woman who knows what she wants, and confront the double standard in your family. If your sister was sophisticated enough to have serial affairs, and your parents have been so worldly that they have turned a blind eye to it, then you should all be adult enough to realize that you are entitled to your happiness too. Although this may make for some awkward first few family gatherings, as grown-ups, everyone should be able to get past it. But if they can't, you are going to have to decide whether you want this man, or to be a people pleaser for the rest of your life.
Welcome to the mini story for Double Standard. Let's get started. There is a badass Marine named Saren. He has an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They are very, very close. Saren likes Julia, but one day he decides she's just not what he's looking for. He breaks up with Julia. Julia feels betrayed. She says, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren won't budge. He says, "No, I don't want you, Julia." Julia can't get past the breakup. Every day she follows Saren. Every day she calls him. At first, Saren turns a blind eye to her behavior, but finally he can't ignore it anymore. He yells at Julia and says, "I won't bow to this pressure. I won't take you back, so leave me alone." Julia asks, "Do you have another girlfriend?" He says, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her," says Julia. She says, "I still feel a little uneasy, but if you're dating Hillary, I guess it's okay." Julia smiles and walks away. As she leaves, she yells, "So, is Bill free for dating?" Okay, one more time, this time with questions. There is a badass Marine named Saren. Badass. Ooh, that's slang. Badass means tough, very strong, tough, very good at what he does. So very strong and tough. There's a badass Marine named Saren. A Marine is a kind of soldier, a kind of fighter. He has an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. Are Saren and Julia Roberts only friends, just friends? No. They have an intimate relationship. It means they're very close. Not only friends, they are dating each other. They have an intimate relationship. Are they probably having sex? Yes, probably they are. They have an intimate relationship. They are dating. They're very, very close. Saren and Julia Roberts have an intimate relationship. Does Saren have an intimate relationship with Cameron Diaz? No, he does not have an intimate relationship with Cameron Diaz. He has an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They are very, very close. Saren likes Julia, but one day he decides she's just not what he's looking for. Does Saren want Julia? No, he doesn't. He decides she's not what he's looking for. She's not really what he wants. So he decides she's just not what he's looking for. Is Hillary Clinton what he's looking for? Yes, Hillary Clinton is what he's looking for. She's rich and powerful. That's what he's looking for. Saren's looking for rich and powerful. Julia Roberts is not powerful enough, so she's not what he's looking for. Is Cameron Diaz what Saren is looking for? No, he doesn't want Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is not what he's looking for. What is Saren looking for? Saren is looking for a rich and powerful woman like Hillary Clinton. So he breaks up with Julia. Julia feels betrayed. Does Julia feel he did something bad to her? Yes, exactly. She feels he did something bad to her. They were close. She trusted him, and then he hurt her. Did Saren betray Cameron Diaz? No, he didn't betray Cameron Diaz. He never dated Cameron Diaz. He never did anything bad to her. He did not betray Cameron Diaz. Did he betray Hillary Clinton? No, he did not. He did not hurt Hillary Clinton. Did he betray Julia? Well, breaking up is not really betraying, but Julia feels betrayed. She feels betrayed. Betrayed is the emotion, ed, feels betrayed. But really, Saren did not betray her. But anyway, she says, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren won't budge. Will Saren change his mind? No, he won't budge. He won't change at all. Will he change a little bit? No, Saren will not change, not even a little bit. He won't budge. He won't change at all. Will Julia budge? No, she doesn't want to budge either. She wants him back. 100%. She doesn't want to change either. So Julia won't budge, and Saren won't budge. Saren says, "No, I don't want you, Julia." But Julia says, "Yes, I want you back." Neither one of them will budge. They won't budge. Julia can't get past the breakup. Can Julia forget the breakup? No, she can't forget the breakup. She can't get past the breakup. Can Julia get past Mel Gibson? Well, yeah, she never dated Mel Gibson, so she doesn't need to get past Mel Gibson. Who does she need to get past? Well, she needs to get past Saren. Saren is her ex-boyfriend. She needs to get past Saren. Can she get past Saren? No, she can't get past him. She can't get past Saren. She can't get past the breakup. She's still upset. Is she still very sad about Saren and the breakup? Yes, that's right. She's still very, very sad. She can't get past the breakup. So every day she follows Saren. Every day she calls him on the phone. At first, Saren turns a blind eye to her behavior. In the beginning, does Saren get upset by her behavior? No. In the beginning, he turns a blind eye. He ignores her. He pretends he doesn't see her. He pretends he's not bothered by her behavior. So he turns a blind eye to her behavior. Does Saren turn a blind eye to Cameron Diaz? No, he does not ignore Cameron Diaz. Who does he turn a blind eye to? Well, he turns a blind eye to Julia Roberts. In fact, he turns a blind eye to her behavior. He ignores her behavior. Does Julia turn a blind eye to Saren? No, she doesn't ignore him. She does not turn a blind eye to Saren. Saren turns a blind eye to her behavior, but she does not turn a blind eye to Saren. She keeps calling him. Finally, Saren can't ignore her anymore. He yells at Julia and says, "I won't bow to this pressure." Will Saren do what Julia wants him to do? No, he won't. He won't bow to the pressure. He will not change because of her pressure. Will he bow to Cameron Diaz's pressure? No, Cameron is not pressuring him. Cameron is just a friend. She's not pressuring him. Julia is pressuring him. He won't bow to Julia's pressure. Will he date Julia again? No, he won't. He won't bow to her pressure. He won't do what she wants. What does Julia want? Julia wants to date him again. So she's pressuring him. Please date me again. Please date me again. Please date me again. Will he bow to this pressure? No, he won't bow to this pressure. He says, "I won't take you back, so leave me alone." Julia asks, "Do you have another girlfriend?" And he says, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." Julia says, "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her. I still feel a little uneasy, but if you're dating Hillary, I guess I'm okay." Does she feel a little uncomfortable about Hillary? Yes, that's right. She feels a little uneasy that he is dating Hillary. Is she very upset that Saren is dating Hillary? No. She's not very upset. She's just a little uneasy. She's uneasy. She's not very upset. She's just uneasy. Why is Julia uneasy? Well, she's uneasy because Saren is dating a new girl. But it's Hillary Clinton and she likes Hillary. So she's only uneasy, not very upset. Is Saren uneasy? No, Saren's not uneasy. Saren is okay. He's dating Hillary, and he's happy with Hillary. So Saren is not uneasy about Hillary. Who is uneasy about Hillary? Well, Julia Roberts is a little uneasy about Hillary, but just a little. It's not bad. And she says, "Well, I'm going to vote for her, so if you're dating Hillary, it's okay." Finally, she turns and walks away. When she's walking away, Julia smiles. And she yells to Saren, "So, does this mean Bill Clinton is free for dating?" All right. Now, one more time. This time I will pause after the key phrases. Please repeat the phrases after me, but don't just repeat. Copy my intonation. Copy my pronunciation. Try to speak exactly like me. Let's go. There's a badass Marine named Saren. There's a badass Marine named Saren. He has an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. He has an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They are very close. Saren likes Julia, but one day he decides she's just not what he's looking for. She's just not what he's looking for. He breaks up with Julia. Julia feels betrayed. Julia feels betrayed. She says, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren won't budge. But Saren won't budge. He says, "No, I don't want you, Julia." Julia can't get past the breakup. Julia can't get past the breakup. Every day she follows Saren. Every day she calls him. At first, Saren turns a blind eye to her behavior. At first, Saren turns a blind eye to her behavior. But finally, he can't ignore it anymore. He yells at Julia and says, "I won't bow to this pressure. I won't bow to this pressure. I won't take you back, so please leave me alone." Julia asks, "Do you have another girlfriend?" And Saren says, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." Julia says, "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her. I still feel a little uneasy. I still feel a little uneasy. But if you're dating Hillary, I guess it's okay." Julia smiles and walks away. As she leaves, she yells, "So, is Bill Clinton free for dating?" All right, that is all of the mini story. Now pause and try to tell all of the story yourself. You don't need to remember every word, but try to use the new phrases and the new words correctly. If you cannot, just relax and listen again. Listen to this story every day for 1 week or 2 weeks, and you will internalize the new phrases. You'll also internalize a lot of basic grammar and a lot of basic pronunciation by listening again and again and again. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the commentary for Double Standard. Now, this letter caused some interesting discussions in my San Francisco class. And there were two main topics. One topic was the topic of families and individuals. And the other topic was double standards for men and women. And I'll talk about both of these and a little bit about what's common in America, common opinions in America, and what are some of the different ideas in different countries. So first, this topic of family and individuals. Most people know that American culture, American society, values individualism or individuals. And we have an idea that adult individuals should make their own choices. And they should not worry about what other people think, even their families. And as you get older, this becomes stronger and stronger. So when I read this letter, for example, and I saw this woman is in her middle 50s, so she's probably, 55 years old. And she's worried about what her family thinks about her new boyfriend. My first reaction, I thought, this is very strange. This is an older woman. Why does she care about what her sister and her parents think? She should just do what she wants. She's an adult woman. This is crazy. And that's a common American reaction. We have an idea in the United States that when you're an adult, you should be independent. You should make your own decisions. You should not ask your parents for advice all the time. You should not live with your parents when you're an adult, right? That's a very common, strong view. This is very interesting because in classes that I've had before, there's a very interesting difference in culture here, especially this idea of living with your family. Some cultures, people continue to live with their families until they get married. So if they're 30 and they're not married, they still live with their parents. If they're 35 and they're not married, they're still living with their parents, and that's normal, and which is fine. There's not a right or wrong answer here, not better or worse, but it is a big difference. In the United States, that is seen as very negative. There's a strong feeling that you should not live with your parents when you're an adult. So, for example, in my own life, I went to university when I was 18, and then I graduated university. I was 22, I believe, and after that, I got my own apartment, and I never lived with my parents again. I didn't want to live with my parents, and my parents did not want me to live with them. If I had asked them, can I live with you, they would not have been happy. They would not have liked that. They would think there was something wrong with me. I can't support myself. I can't get my own job. I'm not independent. That's not good. So, and for me, I wouldn't like it because I don't want to live with my parents, and I'm an adult. I don't want them telling me what to do or anything like that. So it's on both sides. Both the children and the parents have this idea that when you're an adult, you leave home and you should be independent and should make your own decisions. But I've met students from other countries who say it's very normal to live with their families until they're married. And in some cultures, even after they get married, the couple will go and live with one of the families, the husband's family or the wife's family. And that's considered normal. So in these cultures, family and the family's opinion continues to be important even when they're adults. So maybe some of you listen to this article, you think, oh, this sounds normal. Maybe some of you think, this woman needs to worry about her family. If her family doesn't like the situation, maybe she should not date Will. That might be a reaction that some people have. However, Abby's answer is probably the normal answer most Americans would give, which is stop worrying about your family's opinion. Don't be a people pleaser. Do what you want. All right. Next, the issue of double standards. This was the second topic we discussed in my San Francisco class. And the double standards refers to men and women, and the fact that there are double standards for men and women when dating. If a man dates a lot of women, it's often no problem. People don't criticize him. In fact, sometimes they think, hey, he's a cool guy. Look at all those girlfriends he has. This is great. What a good guy. And in some cultures, this double standard is very strong, right? Men can date a lot of women, and people think it's good. On the other hand, if a woman dates a lot of men, then she's bad. She's a bad girl, and people criticize her, and people don't like it. And that's clearly a double standard, right? That's the definition of double standard. Two different rules for the same situation. If a man does something, it's okay. If a woman does it, it's not okay. And in my class, there were clear double standards for most cultures. Stronger in some countries, weaker in other countries. This double standard does exist in America. There's still a double standard between men and women when dating. However, that double standard is getting weaker and weaker. Women are getting more and more equal. It's very normal now for a woman to date lots of different guys, and it's generally not a problem. This woman is in her 50s. She's an older woman from an older generation. Maybe that's why in this letter she sounds like she's a little bit criticizing her sister Jane for dating many men. I think for younger Americans it's no problem. It's just totally normal. So this double standard is not so strong in America, getting weaker all the time. In other countries, in my class, some of the Asian students, for example, mentioned that this is a very strong double standard in their countries, that the men are almost encouraged to date a lot of girls, and it's seen as very cool. But if a woman even has sex before she's married. Something's wrong with her. She's a bad girl. Everybody criticizes her. And it's a strong double standard. I guess the good news is most of them did mention that it's improving in all the countries in my class that were represented. The students did say it's getting better. It maybe it's still bad, but the double standards are improving in most places in the world, and that's good. Well, okay, those are our topics. That's our commentary for this letter. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya for the next lesson. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the POV, or point of view, mini stories for double standard. Same mini story, but first starting with the phrase 1 year ago. 1 year ago, there was a badass Marine named Saren. He had an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They were very, very close. Saren liked Julia, but one day he decided she just wasn't what he was looking for. So he broke up with her. Julia felt betrayed. She said, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren wouldn't budge. He said, "No, I don't want you, Julia." Julia couldn't get past the breakup. Every day she followed Saren. Every day she called him. At first, Saren turned a blind eye to her behavior, but finally he couldn't ignore it anymore. He yelled at Julia and said, "I won't bow to this pressure. I won't take you back, so leave me alone." Julia asked, "Do you have another girlfriend?" And he said, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." Julia said, "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her. I still feel a little uneasy, but if you're dating Hillary, I guess it's okay." Julia smiled and walked away. As she left, she yelled, "So, is Bill free for dating?" Okay, our next version is going to start with the phrase, "since 2004. Okay. All right, there's a badass Marine named Saren. Since 2004, he has had an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They have been very, very close. Saren has liked Julia this whole time. But one day he finally decided she just wasn't what he was looking for. So he broke up with Julia. Julia felt betrayed. She said, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren wouldn't budge. He said, "No, I don't want you, Julia." Julia couldn't get past the breakup. Every day she followed Saren. Every day she called him. At first, Saren turned a blind eye to her behavior, but finally he couldn't ignore it anymore. He yelled at Julia and said, "I won't bow to this pressure. I won't take you back, so leave me alone." Julia asked, "Do you have another girlfriend?" And he said, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." She said, "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her. I still feel a little uneasy, but if you're dating Hillary, I guess it's okay." Julia smiled and walked away. As she left, she yelled, "So, is Bill free for dating?" All right, our final version begins with the phrase, "next year." Next year, this is going to happen in the future. I'm imagining this. Here we go. There's a badass Marine named Saren. Next year, he'll have an intimate relationship with Julia Roberts. They'll be very close. Saren will like Julia, but one day he'll decide she's just not what he's looking for. He'll break up with Julia. Julia will feel betrayed. She'll say, "How can you do this to me? Why are you hurting me? Please take me back." But Saren isn't gonna budge. He's gonna say, "No, I don't want you, Julia." Julia won't be able to get past the breakup. Every day, she'll follow Saren. Every day, she'll call him. At first, Saren will turn a blind eye to her behavior, but finally, he won't be able to ignore it anymore. He'll yell at Julia and say, "I won't bow to this pressure. I won't take you back, so leave me alone." Julia will ask, "Do you have another girlfriend?" He'll say, "Yes, I'm dating Hillary Clinton now. She's rich and very powerful." Julia will say, "Really? Wow, I like her. I'm going to vote for her. I still feel a little uneasy, but if you're dating Hillary, I guess it's okay." Julia will smile and walk away. As she leaves, she's gonna yell, "So, is Bill free for dating?" All right, and that's our final version in the future. Please go back now, listen to each version, and then pause. Try to tell each version yourself out loud. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to remember every word. But try your best and try to use the correct form of the verbs. Sometimes the vocabulary changes a little bit. Listen for that. If you can't do it, if it's too difficult, no problem. Just relax. Listen to these versions many, many times. Every day, listen to it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. The next day, again. The next day, again. It takes some time, but if you do this every month, every day for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, you will get a more natural feeling for English grammar. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.